Closer in there. Ooh, look at that nigga there. All right.
Don't touch my.
Oh, how did I go there?
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bet the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog need. Slap Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
And every time I'm seen, I got to be clean.
Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money.
It's going down like this, motherfucker.
Let's go have some fun.
This shit is crazy.
Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic slump.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying.
Yes, he destroy black boys. Yes, he destroy black boys. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who.
Joe feet. He looked down, seen his feet. The nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also, because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously.
You don't understand. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am, chilling.
I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
You're a philosopher?
Yes.
You're a philosopher?
Yes.
You're a philosopher?
Yes.
I think very deeply.
I'm in your business.
Hold up. You don't know nothing about that shit, bitch.
I'm in your business.
Hold up. You don't know nothing about that shit, bitch.
Oh, that's his dad.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama, and you.
What
What the hell you want here, hunky?
Don't know me what it.
I don't mean to be out of line. I mean to be rude. I don't mean to be out of line.
You got to pray to God and tell God your rent due. Any God that didn't know your rent was due ain't God.
Come with baggage, just not answering we was on.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that.
Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke bitch. I told niggas this was on, yeah, right here. I think we OD. I think we OD.
The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass.
My word, can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. That's the difference.
You got.
Used to snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah.
Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. I hit the loot juice, and pulls up in the deuce. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come.
I guess you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
To the east, to the north, to the west, to the south, above, below, in the middle. Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins. And I am that one and only galactic daddy-o welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. I don't even know if this shit is gonna go out or work. As always, not always, but I'm gonna drink some amber ale out of Kalamazoo. I drink all the Elliot Ness. So pop them if you got them. Or actually, it probably says Comstock, Michigan. And I didn't even think about it. This is a cool glass. This is Hard Rock. What's that shit called? Ibaza. Ibaza. That is in motherfucking Spain. So last month, my wife got to go to fucking Spain. I don't think I want to go to I didn't want to go to Spain. She asked me, she said, well, we've been planning it for a while. Do you want to go to Spain? I'm like, the only thing I would want to see in Spain is like where maybe Isabella's crypt or something like that. But overall, Spain is not somewhere I would want to go. It's not anywhere in Europe I would really want to see. I don't want to see the pyramids in Africa. I don't even know if I'd want to go to Australia. It's so much pain and suffering. I don't even know if I'd want to go to Australia. Perhaps India. Perhaps. But I don't know. So I want to thank everybody that still tunes into my shit. You know, I know I haven't done a live in about a month. But you know, as I said before, I am still kind of on the mend. I had a minor setback. I got like a heart monitor. Look at this shit. This shit is right here. So, you know, life changes. And you have to change with it. And as I said before, if I didn't live as well as I lived and took care of myself as much as I did, I probably would be off a lot worse, a lot worse. I think I still sound funny. But I just wanted to come in and let everybody know that I am doing my best. We got to see the Twins play. I turned 63 Sunday, and we had a party for me Saturday, and we kind of had a party for me Sunday, and we went to the game on Tuesday. Now, I don't know about y'all last night up here. It rained damn near all day, so there was no all day doing shit. It stopped raining around 5, 6 o'clock where you could pretty much, it stopped raining long enough to barbecue for maybe a couple hours and then long enough to shoot fireworks. But it rained, and then it rained after that. And so today was the nicer of the day. I know that now when I saw the Twins play, they lost. They beat the Tigers. They beat the Tigers. Houston is in town today for a series through this weekend. So that's kind of what I've been, part of what I've been doing. I haven't been playing pickleball quite as much. I've been fighting a little bit of, they think right now it's vertigo. I tried to have an MRI, and let me tell you, the MRIs are so fucked up is, like they say the stand-up MRIs is not as good. They say they're not as good, but I've used them over the years. They say they're not as good. They don't show the clear definition. So they tried to stick me. So I went in. I was able to finally go into the one at this other hospital because it was big and didn't feel as creepy. But they tried to put me in one, and the thing is like this fire in front of my face. I'm in it, and my shoulders is like this. They got shit under my arms, so it kind of preps my arms up, and I am like almost stuffed in this mug. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. So I went to another one that's open on the sides, and it's all an optical illusion. And so I was able to get that done because, I've been going through some kind of dizzy spells for a while, and they really could. Maybe I got vertigo. We don't know. So, just taking care of myself. That's really what I've been doing. And so, which fortunately, the weather is one thing because we, a couple years ago they was talking about all this drought. Man, it is so much water up here. Again, I live on a hill, so I'd never be affected. But like the highways, and you look at like I live near the Minnesota River, and the Minnesota River feeds into the Mississippi River. Kind of a conjunction, St. Paul, Minneapolis, kind of a conjunction down there. Yeah, it is so much water. My wife's aunt has a pretty decent big boat. She can't even get down to the harbor, down to the docks. All that is flooded out. All the streets to go down there are flooded out. I mean, we have a highway called 35 East, 35 West. And when you go down 35 West, there is so much water in the Minnesota River that it's amazing. It's one walkway from one part of Minnesota River to the other where you can walk, and water is right at the bottom of that. So we are past drought. Up north, it's even a little worse. I know Duluth is right on Lake Superior. They got it a little worse than what we got it. So, let me see. I'm just making up stuff. Oh, I've been seeing several movies. Bad Boys wasn't that good. Bad Boys wasn't that good. A surprising good movie that maybe y'all didn't hear about was Bike Riders, about the Vandals. And I know those of you that's from the Chicago area, the Midwest, you knew about the Vandals. And it was actually a quite good movie. Didn't see it on the big screen. It was on one of the side screens, but it was surprisingly good. Bad Boys, again, they hid Martin in the movie. They made Martin the clown. So I don't know. Y'all should have seen that by now. But the worst movie I've watched this year by far is Horizon. Horizon is totally the worst movie. Again, I saw it on the big screen with the noise. It was totally like it made no sense. Like it was a 3-hour movie that really made no sense. It was like if you really looked at it, it was a continuation of Tombs or Yellowstone. You can tell it had a very televised kind of thing. I mean, the movie is an hour and a half before you even get to Kevin Costner. And then the rest of the movie is another hour and a half. So really not a great movie. Not a great movie. So, and then there's supposed to be 3 more parts. So, yeah, stay. If y'all like movies, that's not a very great movie. So I wanted to say that. Hey James, Jamar, thank you for joining. No, I'm out of kilter. And the Ron Battle, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. So, and for those of you that check it out now or later, whatever, that's cool. So yeah, those are the movies that I've been through. I mean, we catch movies quite often. I guess Wolverine is the next one. I got a bunch of posters that I get because they are always different posters from the movie and stuff that I kind of collect. So, and as I said, I got to play our pickleball today. I hadn't played in roughly 2 weeks. And this is what's funny is my wife and I played, and she really kind of gave me a decent workout, what I was trying to do. So I started playing with this other cat just to hit because she was like, I'm done. So I just to hit. The guy wanted to play a game. So I'm playing the dude and I pickle him. I beat this young dude 10-0. And I wasn't even trying. Not really. It was kind of easy to beat him. But my heart monitor fell off. I mean, the tape in this thing ain't that great. So I would have kept playing, but this heart monitor fell off. So I thought that was kind of funny. I beat this young dude and here I am playing with a heart monitor and shit. So it's kind of funny. But got a good workout. The weather was okay. I mean, this morning, rainy, so I didn't play this morning, but we got it in this afternoon. We had a nice lunch and we got it in. So maybe tomorrow, maybe I get to work out again. Because last year at this time, I was about 212 pounds playing every day in May, every day in June. Yeah, I only played, I think, 5 times in June. So I'm still about 234 pounds, way too heavy. We walked around the lake last week, which is 3 hours. I mean, 3 miles, excuse me. A 3-mile walk, which is cool. So, still being pretty active, doing the best I can to be active. When I felt good, and there was 3-4 days where I just didn't feel good. So you know how it is when you don't feel good, it's hard to be active. I'll tell you, I didn't drive in so long, my car battery died. We had to jump my car. I hadn't driven in so long because I just didn't feel confident to drive. So, so yeah. And it's like you just try different things and you find out like what works for you to balance that you feel the best you can feel. That's why, I've always said wellness. That was like my old greeting was always wellness to people. Because if you're not well, you can't be whole. And so we try to do everything where we feel the best we can feel so we can function in the way we can function. An interesting thing about pain, those of you that live through pain, pain is such a thing where it becomes like a lot of us will live with pain and pain will be normal. And what I mean by is like those of you that have played any kind of sport, when you hurt and you still play the sport while you're hurt, it becomes normal. You tape your ankle up, you tape your wrist up. I mean, you play pickleball, I got to wrap both my arms, that strap, on the nerve here. So by tennis elbow, I got it in both hands. I got to wrap my knees up. And that's the bad thing about pain is it becomes normal. So you trying to hoop and your ankle is, not quite right. You will hoop until your ankle is, till your ankle finally gets better. Those that are, highly competitive. And even though you go to work and got to do some stuff at work, you will keep doing it and just do it through the pain. I remember a couple summers ago, I was working with a girl's hockey girl, and she ended up having drop foot. And the kind of job we had, we was constantly moving and then moving heavy stuff. And here she is trying to, move some stuff with a drop foot. And you know what the drop foot is? You take a step and your foot won't take the weight and it literally kind of drops down and laps over. You know what I'm talking about? And so, trying to do that for 6-8 hours is, after a while, if that's the only way you can walk and get around, it becomes normal. But to be well, and have true wellness, you have to figure out how to balance all this to be the best you that you can be. So then you can truly be your best. And then that's how you become whole. It's one less thing to worry about. Because if it's hard to be whole when you're worrying about your health. So, every day. And it's the other thing is, it's like bad health tries to also throw up a fear. And fear can take away your confidence. Because this is the one thing this reality wants to do. It wants you to be fearful of the unknown, they say, of your existence. They want you to, wish, I need more time. This is the fear program that it hits you with. Well, you can't have this anymore. Change. That's what the Gipper says up in Pennsylvania. Change. It's change the enemy. It's change the evil. It's change part of, not being well. Because all of a sudden, but as I mentioned before, when you get hurt, that's a minor change. And we're used to change because we can adjust. And a lot of us, most of us can adjust on the fly. And that's what life is adjustments, corrections, adaptation. See, I sound funny. Not Muhammad Ali funny. Ali could still talk, and he quit talking because he didn't sound the same. So he decided not to really talk. His voice was really a lot like this. Wasn't that he couldn't talk, but he could only talk like this. He could only kind of whisper, so he quit talking. And if you really looked at the thing they wanted to kill in him was his voice. I mean, they were so scared of Muhammad Ali that before Larry Holmes, they shot him up with something. He thought it was some vitamins. They were so scared of him winning, they had to drug him before he fought Larry Holmes. So he literally couldn't do anything. And again, they silenced him. Remember, they sent Ali over to Syria, Iraq. Yeah, he went with Hussein to let a brother come back, let a pilot come back. Remember that? Sent Ali. One of from the same sect that said, well, he was Sunni by then, but the same sect that said, the athletes and comedians can't be leaders. But he was the brother. They were scared of his voice. So they wanted to silence him. Look at them pictures of him. He shot all that cortisone in his hands to box. Because when they banned him, he hadn't really fought in 3 years. So it was when he came back, his hands. So when you see his hands all crippled and crumpled, that's from shooting steroids, cortisone. And cortisone eats up bone. Steroids eat up bone. And so, in so many ways, each of our voices are so important because this thing pays attention to us too much to think it's not. I mean, your voice is very important. I mean, that's where's this shit at? Why do you think they're listening to us and monitoring us? What did I do with that thing, sucker? Why do you think they monitor us so much? Back here somewhere. Because everything we say is important. Oh, there it is. Why do you think they constantly listen to us? Did you hear the cat? They came on and said that you can take the batteries out the phones and they can still listen to you. Now, I'm not quite sure how that works. Everything has to have some power. You telling me you got something without power, but you can keep it powered up from remotely. I mean, really remotely. It's like his phone's dead. Okay, let's send it some energy to turn it back on so we can keep listening. That makes sense to y'all? You think they can do that? Perhaps. Perhaps. I don't know. I want to tell this story. Yeah, I'll tell this story now. So, how do I want to? Okay, I've told this before. Let's see. Again, my son and I are sharing this room, so things are everywhere. But anyway, so as you know, I teach about these. This is a Populite, all right? And not only is it a Populite, it's a Populite pyramid, as you can see, all right? Now, when you put these in a certain way, like these are great if you just want to meditate and you kind of want to get into the crystal energy. These are great for that. These will almost put you where it opens some doors up. Yeah, so you can kind of get lost in this. But anyway, very protective crystals. And what I teach, again, is the most important thing about the pyramid is you get on top of the pyramid. So I put these, and I teach. You put these in each corner of your bedroom where you need the most protection because you want everything free as you rest. So you put these Apophyllite crystals in your bedroom and you put them in every corner. All right. Now there's a reason we put things in corners. Now, let me see. Is this other stuff up here? My son's got all my stuff. No. My kyanite does not appear to be up here. No. Yeah, my kyanite is somewhere in here. But anyway, I just like to show it. But anyway, it's a black long crystal like this. And I put those both. I put kyanite and I put these apophyllite. Now, the reason, and I'm gonna knock out a couple topics doing this. So the reason you do this, and what's taught in Americas is you do not want to be inside the pyramid. That's what Egypt and Kemet, and that's what we gave the rest of the world. But the Americas do it differently. The Americas teach you to be on the terrace. That's where you get the full energy from the universe, is on the terrace. And so when you have these in the corner, you're on the terrace. And that's why you want to square them. You want to square yourself. Now, I'm going to break away a little bit from that to tell you, the formula that's used against us. And the formula used against us is circling. Now, if you study any Wicca, what Wicca tells you, and the birthday is the greatest example I can give you on circling. Because the birthday is very common. Everybody circles around the child. You light a candle and you sing. That's hexing the child. That's a hex. But the reason why they circle goes back to John D. and Kelly. But John D was given Montezuma's mirror. He was given Montezuma's crystal skulls, and he was giving his crystal balls. None of this was done, and none of the Caucasus Europeans knew of these things. And for years, they really didn't know how to use any of it. Montezuma's mirror, they saw the Spanish come 10 years before. And when they tell you they didn't know what horses was, it's bullshit, because they recognized horses in the mirror. But the reason why they tell you to circle, and in Wicca, they teach you this. They tell you the circle is. So John D. and Kelly, messing with these things and others messing with these things really couldn't break through. Kelly started faking it for a lot of part. But then, you pick at something long enough, you learn how to get through. And so what they got through with didn't like them. Again, these are ancestors. You talking about the Goishas. These are ancestors. That's why they demonize them. I mean, you look at some of these demon pictures, these old drawings, it looks like American Indians. And so these ancestors weren't meant for them. And so the only way they could get something out of them was by binding them. That's why they teach you. You circle and you bond. Bind. That's why they teach you that. But we as Americans, we square. The power is in the terrace. The power moves up through the terrace. Now, let me give you an example of it's really cool. I've been really, this new medications I'm on be giving me the greatest dreams. And so again, with my protection in my room, so it was a lucid dream, but the dream starts off, the first thing that comes is that little black pest. That little black pest could not penetrate what I had. So what it did is shape shifted into some other characters. But it couldn't come in full force. So it took away, my barriers took away. So it had to come in less. You can dig it. So it comes in less. And it shape shifts a couple of times. And its goal is, to try to put me in sleep paralysis. Because again, everybody talks about seeing the black pest. It's always a black pest that ends up getting on top of you. Well, I was standing up, so the shit couldn't really get on top of me. So what the thing did is the thing tried to twist the room to be on top of me. And as it tried to twist the room, I twist the room back so it wouldn't be on top of me. Then it twists the room back again. And one reason what's great about wearing diamonds when you go to sleep is you hit that motherfucker with a diamond fucking blast. So again, this is the lesser of this black pest. That most people, it gets on you and, you just frightened and shit. You can't, your breathing gets fucked up. You can't move. No, I hit that motherfucker with a diamond motherfucking blast, knocked it back. I hit it with another diamond blast, and the motherfucker went on the wall like a spider. His hands and arms was back like this. And then finally I hit it with the last blast. And so I've said before, this is a way to get rid of sleep paralysis. Now, my wife is funny. The only thing that knocked me out of it, because I'm purposely thinking of doing this shit. And I one time I hit a blast and then I hit my wife's leg and it woke me up. And she said I was talking out loud going pow, 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 pow. And I know, something simple as this, but if you have problems with that, and I ain't selling these. I've said that over and over again. I tell this stuff and I don't sell this stuff. I ain't trying to get nobody to buy this shit, but I'm saying what works and what will keep shit away from you. And I'm gonna talk about the witch. This chick, I keep telling her, stay away from me. I don't want to see any of your things. She sent me a little thing on Facebook, and I've said before, she didn't send me anything on Facebook, but her commercial came through, and her commercial only comes through when she wants it to come through. It's like her checking up on me. And I had a thing with her. This chick tried to literally get me to marry her. She tried to, she did. She pulled kind of like one of my cells out of my protection zone. And she had me, about to marry her and bend down to her. My other self grabbed me back into my protection zone and started hitting her with laser blast. Then she tried to attack me again a couple of days. Like, nah, fuck you, lady. A couple of years ago, I had to go through a thing, to make her just leave me alone. And so again, and that house, I had protection in my living room too. So it's just something simple that can keep simple things from bothering you. And the thing about sleep paralysis, it's little. That's why when the dream started, it had to show itself because it was trying to penetrate my area. So it had to show itself. And it had to come in and say, hey. So I saw it. I'm like, yeah, you're not going to trick me. And damn if I'm going to be scared of you. I was in another dream the other night. And at first, I'm just living in a single little like cabin and stuff. But then when I took over lucidly, I built a basement in there and then I built some upstairs stairs. I expanded the place. I was like, at first, it was like nothing but the room. I'm like, wait a minute. I opened the door and then boom, I built some stairs and there's the basement. And I was like, yeah, I want more than this. This ain't enough. So I ran up the stairs and built the upstairs. So you should be in control of your dreams, is my point. You should be in control of them. I mean, like it just in general, the good people are spiritual. Just in general. And I know, good goes with bad, but just genuine people. I mean, so many of us are really just controlled. And I'm just as guilty as anybody hooked on the phone. The phone is probably the most uh, addictive drug. I mean, what do they call scrolling? Death. Whoops. What do they call it? The death scrolling. Death scrolling. Your attention span is so that every minute. And so a lot of times it just doesn't. It takes you away from you and being here now. And being the best you, and being the real you and authentic you, not the robotic you, which happens so easy. When we work, we almost become like robots when we work. It's like when I played sports, it was like very superstitious. Well, in daily life, we do a lot of things superstitious. You might want, you want to park your car the same place every day at home. You have your music on the same channel, the way you eat, the way you get together. It's very robotic. And it's almost, if you look at like what is a simulation, it's very much like a simulation. What was the video movie with Sandler? Remember he had the video movie where he didn't really want to have sex with his wife, and so everything was like fast in the beginning. He had was able to, fast forward everything. So everything every day was just fast forwarded. And that's what life becomes. Especially when you work. It's really different when you don't work. Because it doesn't really matter what day it is. It's your day. For those of you that have to go through it. And it's hard to be aware how robotic you become. Like I said, what was his name? Poetic. My man out of Chicago, he once said, he was working a machine so well, you couldn't tell where the machine started and the man ended, or the machine ended in the man. It was like he had his machine working so efficiently. And many of you that had production jobs and work with machines, or you work with robots now, you know how that can be. You can be so proficient and everything works so good. And you go to work some days and it seemed like you still at work right now and you worked a couple days ago. I mean, time can seem that slow. Seem like you've been there 7 hours and you've been there 20 minutes. Then other days, you get there and it's like, seem like you worked an hour and it's 8 hours later. So how does that swing happen? What makes that kind of swing happen? Of course, the busier you are, the more your mind is occupied. And that's why, the slower the day is, your mind is occupied with too many other things. But if you look at the days, and this is, I don't really want to say this is a spell, but I just think this is some good way to look at things, The days are long, but the years are short. And that's what life turns out to be. The days are long, but the years are short. And when we look at like what we really have is we just have a moment, the moment. The moment is all we have. That's it. It's like we don't think that all our moments matter. We don't think to get the most out of every moment. What do they say? Kill time? You can never kill time. What did Dr. Valentine said? Time started when you became aware. You started thinking. That's when time started. Time just ain't about thoughts. It's a very simplistic way to look at things. Well, you know, time started when we started thinking. What about when we became aware? We became aware and didn't really have to think. We was just one with everything. So time didn't start then? Everything was so tuned, you didn't really have to think. Everything was moving with you. Avatar, when they hook up into the tree, you know? It's just one thing. And so the moment is truly all we have. And it's to make the most and enjoy each moment. Can't kill time. Just you got, you occupied in these moments. And so far, we're occupied, moments are occupied or we're waiting, we're like this. And we don't really like it's almost, I mean, it is very robotic, no doubt. And remember when the people were playing Pokemon and the children was walking around not paying attention, not looking, because they're looking at their phones. Remember that? And that's an experiment on our children. And I've said before, they knew what was going to happen to teenagers when they did 2G, which is text. What does Fight Club say? How many times before they recall something? They knew coming in that text messages was going to kill young people and teenagers. They knew that coming in, and yet they released it. Why do you think at first it was just, it was just 2AM people? Why do you think they put that in there first? Then they had the Motorola's where you could receive your text on the Motorola's. Maybe that was before the 2 ways, was the Motorola's could take the text. You flip down Motorola. So it wasn't meant for children at that point. But it became a point where a child would risk its life because it thinks that text is more important than, that's the most important moment ever. That's what happened to our children and the way they looked at text. Where a person with normal common sense will look off the road and start reading the fucking phone. And we have people out there that knew this would happen. They knew this could happen and it would happen. And they even knew the percentages and the numbers. Yet it was allowed. It was allowed. And I mean, like, the Motorola phones wasn't cheap. Like, now we paying $1,000 phones. Well, the Motorola's was like getting $1,000 phone back then. Remember, they've had car phones since the 50s. That's nothing new. Car phones ain't new. They had briefcase phones again since the 50s. Now, remember, the first phones was like, what, a bag so big. Then the second one they came out was a bag about that big. And then Radio Shack made a copy of the Brick, which actually was a pretty good phone. It's funny, just got a X5, and the X5 has the old-fashioned, like the Mercedes have, where you could plug the phone in. And I'm trying to think how old the phone would have to be that you plugged it in the way it's built. So that is really kind of funny. So we got something to take that shit out. We got some tools we got to do to take, but it's like in 14 and 15, it's a 15. There was regular phones. These phones were still around. These were dominant. So I'm thinking, like, so you bought a car back then, but you had a really old phone. Now I know when you get Benz back then, Benz would come with phones, and maybe that's what it did. Maybe it came with a phone, but it's sure you can't use it nowadays. There's nothing you can use. So, and those of you watching me, I'm not having any, because of health thing, epithy. This is every day, it's like when you try to get deep and try to really talk about some deep spiritual stuff. It's like you want to be relatable. Too often people aren't relatable. They have these concepts, and the concepts are so far that for average people. And the other part is that's how people get tricked so easy. Like like this Anunnaki stuff, Stinchion's work. Now I don't know if y'all know who Wes Paneri is. I've talked about Wes for years. I used to be friends with him on Facebook. Not very active, but was on Facebook, and I was friends with this nigga. And now I'm seeing his work animated. They're showing, the new animation, and it's pictures of what they think they look like. And it's like they telling the little short stories, and it's Wes Paneri's work. And as far as I can see, it's not him presenting this stuff. But some of these people are presenting Wes Paneri's work like it really happened. And again, no, a knock to Wes is it's a story. The same with Stinchion. It's a story. Do you understand? These are stories, just like the Bible's are stories. One thing that I really is outspoken of, and I'm friends with you people, but this mud flood thing, I just don't understand how you can fall for this. This is a very, very, very Caucasus European thing. This is something they came up with because, again, when you look at the Caucasus European, 6,000 years maybe. And it's like, where did they come from? It's almost like they're the aliens. I mean, what's Decel Geisy, whatever his name is, he made a joke. It's like, now they're saying that most of the Caucasus Europeans is related to the Neanderthals. Neanderthals. Remember they made the commercial making fun of Neanderthals? Now they say all these motherfuckers is related to them. And the melanated people aren't. So now Neanderthals was so great and had all this technology. But that mud flood takes the cake. That is some shit that makes no sense. They show pictures of these motherfuckers digging up mounds. They show pictures of them digging up mounds, American mounds. They don't want to tell you, well, we dug you out. Place like Wisconsin, every mile had mounds that they had to tear down. And they got the nerve to say that nobody in the history that went to New York, none of the Lenape people, none of them tribes, not the Dutch, no one else but the English could come dig all these giant mansions in Manhattan. That's part of what they're trying to tell you. That these mansions was existed, but they had to dig them out. Instead of telling you, they destroyed all these mounds. And when they destroyed all these mounds, wasn't no mansions. But that's what this mud flood thing is. And you melanated people that jump on it, I don't get that. Because it's Aryan. And I mean Hitler type of Aryan. That's where this is. This is an Aryan thought to make them seem ancient. Because they can't think of any other way. So it's a guise that, don't be fooled by them. Earth flat, earth round, what does it matter? What does it matter? In your moment, what does that matter? Because, and I guess we could even look at mud flood like this. Like, the motherfuckers create shit. And so the mud flood is a lot like a flat plane. And my son gets to argue, we get to arguing about flat plane and stuff. But what does it matter? And if you do the math, the flat plane just doesn't really work. And I mean the math of, again, being on a 2D plane. They don't want to start there. I mean, my son getting that argument all the time, but they don't want to start there. You can't have it both ways. You can't say everything starts from a flat plane, but yet you want to apply it to 3D. How does that make any sense? Because that's what you're doing. You're trying to push them both together. So that's my feelings about that. But as I said before, sometimes you have to lower your knowing, because even though a person may be taking their own path through their own moments and you get along with them, you can hear their story without being swayed by it. And just saying, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I can dig that. Yeah, okay. All right, I'm going to get into non-serious time. I've been having a lot of fun. And so I've got this mountain of stuff I'm going to show. Because I'm not going to be on too late. I'm not going to be on too late. So, I am a sneaker collector. And I'm going to start off with these. And these are the infrared 7s. Leather's really great in these. These are so comfortable. And the way they present them, they put these in here, paper in the toe. But what's interesting about these is in the stores, so I bought these for 97 bucks. Don't you know, I went there last week. They got these now for 150. 150. Some shit I got for 97 bucks. So you be on it. So I say, the outlets, you have a child, there's no way they shouldn't have a good tennis shoe. I don't know if I showed these before or not, but I'm really starting to love the art shift of this. Really starting to love this. And this would go with A&T colors. The thing I like about these lows is I prefer the tongue. I don't think they're quite as comfortable as the highs, but I love this thick tongue. I really do. And again, maybe 70 bucks. These is open box. Not all of them, but some of them. I ordered these because these are plain. As you see, these are just Nikes. These ain't Jordans. These are just Nikes. And these are Terminator highs and whatever blue. But these are old-fashioned Nikes with none of the Jordan. Just old-fashioned. Got the little bumps here and shit. The leather's great. And so, yeah, I got these for $64. $64. Now, I know a lot of people have been showing this, and this is the best deal that they got. These are two lows, and I forget what the orange is. I got these for $41. Probably going to give them to my son for Christmas because they're 14s, and I can wear 14s too. But $41. $41. Jordan 2s. $41. Now, these are the funnest one. These go with what I'm wearing. Check this out. This shit goes together like a motherfucker. Look at that shit. These go to, what are these motherfuckers called? Oh, these are Air Max 17s. This is what I wore to the baseball game. None of that shit go together. Look how good this shit looks. Yeah. Look how good this looks together. Come on. This nigga, like, he's connected to outfits. Hey, you see, this is outfit. Now, these are 12s, but because of the material, I can wear them. And $60. Normally, I think 180, 60 bucks. Now I gotta grab these. Now this next pair is a super deal. Again, when I went to the store, my wife wanted to just get some shorts. I really wasn't gonna buy any shoes because I just bought 2 pairs. But Dick's Sports. Dick's Sports has a table where they trying to get rid of shoes, and if it has a certain sticker, it's more off because they've been sitting for a while. These are LeBron James 21. What are these called? I don't feel like looking them up, but these are 21s. And this is that type of shiny leather. Again, these are 14s. I can wear 14s. And why I like that they're 14s is because the black ones I bought like these were too small. Not too uncomfortable, but too small. So, but my point of getting these is now these motherfuckers, as you can see, they say $111. But as you see, it's got the purple sticker on there, and that meant 50% off of 111. I got these for 57 bucks. When I bought them to do it at the store, I was like, man, just hit these, see how much these are. He was like, where are those at? 50 bucks. So you telling me if you had a child that wore a size 14 and you wanted to buy him some basketball shoes for next year, 50 bucks. I might have showed these, just the taxi reds. I might have showed these already. I don't know. I love these. I've been wearing them way too much, but I love these. Yeah, just these go with everything. I think if you go on the Nike app right now, sometime you can find these for 150 still. I got these for 87 bucks. These are OG, I forget the name of these. But they're just Air Ones. I got these for 75, 85 bucks. And this is what my wife bought me for my birthday. So she bought these and they were $125. I love the fatter tongue. Look at that. Look at the difference here. Look at how thin this tongue is. See how thin that is? Now, I know a lot of people say it's breathing and all that, but I just think that thick tongue is just better quality. But this is what my wife bought me for my birthday. So, and I think we paid retail $125. And finally, these are called Air Jordan 1 ZM Air CMFT 2s. And these are all suede, nubuck. Super light, very hard to put on. I need a shoehorn for these. But wore these out to Mall of America a couple weeks ago, and people were stopping me like, damn, what are these? Nike, on the Nike thing, they showed out. Super light, comfortable. I wear insoles in all my shoes, but hard to put on, probably because of my insole. I probably need to almost take all this apart. But very well made. And I'm trying to think what. Now this is a full box. Oh, these were $65. They originally sold for 150. I got these for $65. And I've had these for a minute. So it's a new buck shoe. So that's my latest cops. Oh, and it gave you this in the box, which is really cool. I know wear testers be talking about that shit. Gives you that in the box. So that's kind of, I'm a sneakerhead. How long I've been going on? Okay. I'm a sneakerhead too, so if that's not your thing, that's just not your thing. But I told the story before, I go back, to PF Flyers, Beta Bullets. I mean, the first type of tennis shoes that Wilt wore, the old Chuck Taylors. And I've said before, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, and before then, I was able to pick my own shoes. I go to high school, they give us 2 pair of fucking Chuck Taylors. And in one season of wearing Chuck Taylors, it destroyed my shins. My junior year, I almost had to quit playing. And I was averaging double figures, 5, 6 rebounds a game as a junior. And like the doctor looked at my knees and was like, wow, this is too much. It's like, you really need to quit playing. So Chuck Taylor's wasn't, that's before orthotics, so that's just one of my hobbies. If it's not yours, that's okay. You can't philosophize all the time. You can't talk about fixed sports all the time. You got to mix your life up and have some fun things in life too. And I got a bunch of clothes. I didn't grab any of these. It's just the shoes because I'm enthusiastic about it. I love the art. And, it's just something that I've always loved. As I've said before, I had, when a lot of the Jordans originally came out, when I was still playing semi-pro basketball, I was buying them. I think the only Jordans I really got was maybe the 8 through the 14s. And after that, it was other shoes that I liked better. Especially, I think the Iverson 2s, Iverson 3s, maybe Iverson 2s. The patent leather blue ones, it was a way better shoe. And so I kind of turned away from buying Jordans because there was so many other good shoes. Shit, by the time I turned 50, And when I first moved here, they sold the best knockoffs. I've told a story before where somebody ran a truck into this business and stole a wall of knockoffs. That's how good the knockoffs used to be. That somebody broke into the store and stole half his inventory. So the sneaker wars are real. But again, you like what you like, you collect what you collect. And that's just something I get enjoyment from. I get enjoyment from, what did the Boondocks say? New shoes, new shoes. So I get enjoyment out of that. I'm enthusiastic about them. I love the art, the craftsmanship. I love all that about it. And clothes, just clothes in general. I've got a ton of hats. I've got those 2 Kangos, that Kango right there, that baby blue, and then there's a white one, so. Because in the summertime, you just can't wear fitted wool hats. It'd be too hot. Then if you want to go out, sometimes it's okay to wear baseball hats and sometimes it's not. You want to be slightly more dressy. But I still got to wear tennis shoes because I can't wear dress shoes anymore. End up breaking my foot trying to walk in them flat things. So and new shoes help keep your feet better. So that's just one of my hobbies. That's all. And I don't know, have you guys picked up on, I used to tease all the fellas that used to say at the end of the day. I used to tease all of them. And now the new word is perfect. Like and that is such a reality breakdown. It's just like the amount of people that used to say at the end of the day, that's a reality breakdown. where you're saying at the end of the day back and forth to each other. Remember that? So now everything is perfect. I even hear my wife, and I talk shit to her all the time about it, but I hear her. Perfect. That's the new word. Just listen. Just listen. And there's a lot of spells that people say that, they hope that you parrot them. I think one that failed was this, that, and the other. I think they tried to bring that one back and it ain't picked up. But I remember listening to one person saying it and then the person he's talking to parroting it back when he never mentioned it before the other person mentioned it. So you see how spells work? Because, how do I want to say this? If you're not mentally strong enough to not recognize that, and it's not, I don't mean it to be an insult, but I mean it to be, okay, I think aware. If you're not aware of that kind of thing, it's easy to mimic. Remember the movie Mimic? And that's what perfect is. It's a mimic. I call it a parroting spell, but I guess mimicking is more what it is. And just be aware of these kind of things. So many other words you can say than perfect. But that's definitely, and it's like, that movie, Time is on my side. It's almost like that. I remember when I was in A&T, and we used to always say, right. Like I'm telling the story, right? I saw this bitch, right? It was like right after everything. And I remember a new guy came, and again, when I'm talking to him, I'm using right all the time. Where he starts saying right. So do you see how it works and how long they've been doing this to us? And that's kind of a reality breakdown that all of a sudden people just, new word comes there and everybody's using it. How is that? Remember they show the news, all the newscasters is talking the same, using the same phrases? Well, they do that to the public too. And I know saying perfect is it's not that big a deal, but again, if you look at it in the whole, it becomes a big deal. It becomes something that you should be aware of and notice and definitely not mimic. And that's what we do too often, we mimic. And it's almost like it's an enchantment. And that's kind of what it becomes. It becomes an enchantment. Because you mimic it and then all of a sudden you're enchanted by it. So you're constantly saying it. So be aware of that kind of thing. Be aware of what a free mind really is. Because too many times we don't really have free minds. We're influenced by too many outside factors. Like my son can't really sleep without noise. He needs that noise. I mean, when I was in college at A&T, his music playing nonstop. Music never stopped in the dorm. When I lived in the athletic dorm, same way. When moved into bigger dorm, it was the same way. It's always constant music. And they used to say, you don't want to listen to music, watch TV all day because of suggestive programming. I know a lot of us is affected by Wi-Fi's in the crib. And that's why I used to have Shungite, which I think I can show. Yes, here it is. Shungite should be pretty near. Definitely in the room and around your Wi-Fi. There's not very many things that can protect you like this. This stuff, very protective. I put this in my water as well. I'm knocking shit over. Oh, here's my kyanite. And you can get this in little bitty strips. You put the popalite with these little bitty strips. You got a pretty bulletproof room. And this clears. This can never hold any kind of energy. Now, one thing that you have to do with diamonds, especially, diamonds will hold a negative charge. And I'm gonna repeat myself. Diamonds will, diamonds are crystals, and diamonds will hold a negative charge. This and shugite will never hold negative charges. So these two can cleanse crystals. But diamonds are not like that. Diamonds are amplifiers. That's why I used to always tease my doctor. He was like, you work around all this and you got them diamonds, but and the simple thing about clearing diamonds, again, is just washing your hands. You pour diamonds, water over diamonds, and diamonds are good. You never notice sometimes, you wash them and they gleam a little bit. And one thing that really cleans diamonds is those ones, the air dryers. They really clean diamonds, but you just wash them. You have something with your girl, something. You have something with your husband. Wash your ring. You getting into somebody at work, or you getting frustrated, and negative energy is building up. Wash your rings if you wear diamonds, because they can work for you, they can work against you. No matter how much effort you put into them, but that's part of taking care of them. As you release, because diamonds don't really need to be charged up; they need to be released. All crystals do some certain type of work, and they get a full load, so they need to be released. And that's why, the shugite, kyanite, selenite, they can release them. And with simple diamonds, you just wash them, rinse them off. And that releases whatever, it's amplifying. That's why you wear it on this finger. This finger, there's a nerve that goes right to your heart. So that's why you wear it on this finger. So that's why there's a diamond there. It's trying to amplify what you two have together. You can dig it. So just take my advice. Or not. Take my advice or not. That's totally up to you. I can't really say I'm gonna be back into podcasting. I can't stay up. I can't stay up like I used to. I kind of got to get to rest, but I get up early, so I don't know if I should podcast in the mornings, because I'm up. Well, I plan on playing pickleball in the mornings, but if when I get back, maybe, because I can't do this midnight stuff anymore. I got to get my rest. That was one thing that they told me. But I had some time tonight. I was feeling pretty good, and I wanted people to know, I'm not like Bobby Hemmett. I'm not that bad. As I said, I sound different to me, and there's certain words that I kind of have to say them a couple times. But other than that, I feel good. As I said, a couple weeks ago, we walked 3 miles. Today, we played over an hour pickleball. So, and what hurts me is I don't have a group of 4 people to play with. That kind of hurts me. That really is helpful, because people just don't realize, you get 4 people and you rent a pickleball court for an hour, you can get, in an hour of just 4 people, you can probably get 8 to 10 games in, back to back to back to back to back. Like we worked out for an hour, and I got like 8,000 steps in, a couple miles, 10, 11 hours worth of standing time, exertion. My heart rate went from here to here, here to here. So it's whatever kind of, it's just the negative is, as I said before, I've got tennis elbows, so I've got to put these damn things over both arms. I'm having issues with both knees, so I got to wrap both my knees up. So that's, as I was saying, I started tonight talking about, pain becomes okay. And I just noticing I'm not moving to my right like I should. My girl was getting me, going to my right, she kept getting me. And the anticipation, that's another part. It's like I was having a pause of anticipating going to my right. So that's something I got to work on. Because last year I was way more advanced. And that's the other problem, is it's like when you get good and you don't play and you're not as good, the ego's like, why do I even want to do it? I don't want to do it unless I'm good. But good comes from work. trying things, practice. That's where good comes from. When you do something athletic, comes from practice and repetition. And just, if you walk, whatever you do every day, really, even if you don't, it's like keeping your body moving. It's like, really, you should get up every 15 minutes. And I know I've been sitting here for an hour, but really, realistically, and my watch keeps saying, stand your punk ass up. But realistically, you should get up every 15 minutes. And what do? We go to a movie, sit for an hour, sit for 3 hours if it's 3 hours. We got to get out of those habits of sitting down, especially with these. Break away from these as often as you can during your free time. Because what do people do when they go on break at work? What have we missed? You think about that. What did you used to do? Work is like breaks are to recover, to build yourself up, to continue whatever your task is. That's what breaks is for, not to see what the fuck is going on, who's text you. Hell, now, if you got the watches, it tells you if it's the family, if something's going on with the family, right on your watch. You ain't got to pick up your phone like, the fuck is he texting me about? So, what's important to you? Recovering to get through your day better, or seeing what's going on in the world in celebrities? It's like they have us caring about people that would never care about you. That's the part of celebrities. You care about people that never care about you. And the same thing goes for like fixed football, fixed politics. You become emotional over something that's definitely not emotional over you, that could care less about you. But you will talk about and protect these people and defend these people like you know them. Oh, sports isn't fixed. Mike Tyson, he never had a fixed fight. He was just knocking everybody out. Watch the bounce off the rope. Watch the Sheldon fight and watch the bounce off the rope fight. Them two, clearly he didn't hit them dudes. Clearly didn't hit them dudes at all. And the dude bounced off the ropes. He practiced it when Tyson jabs at him. He gets ready, he bounces back. He takes that step back. Then Tyson swings at him. He kind of ducks it and bounces off the ropes and land on his face. And Sheldon, he just swang at him, and Sheldon just like, fuck it, they giving me millions. Why take the ass whooping? And let's not, Ali listening too. Liston gets hit, and Liston's like, fuck it, fuck it. Nah, I'm not gonna try. And why? Why take all that beating? And other times they make him fight. Now the Buster Douglas fight, they made him fight. You see in the fourth round, sometimes they make you fight. That's like people say, like even basketball. Basketball is so hard, and Lobo said it right. It's like basketball is hard to fix because you can't fix every play. Let me say this, and then I hope I can get back to my other point. In baseball, they play now in live games, they play the theme music of the hitter. So Braxton had the return of the Mac. Now the first time I saw music played during a pro sporting event was the Globetrotters. When they was playing real basketball, they played music. Now the NBA does it. The last 5-6 years, the NBA does the exact same thing. They play music during when it's low, they play music. If you listen, they play music. Just like the Globetrotters. Now, when the dude comes to bat, they play his theme music. Braxton had Return of the Mac. When the pitchers come in, remember how what was his name? Wild Thing. Remember when he came in, they was playing theme music like that? Now that's what they do for the pitchers. Remember Charlie Sheen was the pitcher for Cleveland, and he was called the Wild Thing, and when he'd come in, they play all that music. Now they really do that in games. The relief pitcher comes in, he has theme music. Y'all watch that banana shit tonight, and they tell you they do trick plays. They say, we did 15 trick plays, the other team did trick plays. And they had 15,000 people there. And people know they're going to do trick plays. They're basically the lowest level of baseball. And they're pretty much telling you it's fixed, scripted. And so are all sports. And so that's funny when I make a fixed sport and the people defend it. Like you know these motherfuckers. That's the biggest thing is you defending some motherfuckers you don't even know. You say, well, you're talking shit about them, but you don't know them. I know behavior though. Let me tell you this that they've been lying about. The Super Bowl been playing since technically 1962. If not even 60 and 61. They've been having the AFL versus the NFL. They tell you the Super Bowl one was 67-68 season. When in fact, when the Bears won in 63, they played whoever AFL team won in 63. I'm pretty sure from 62 until what they called the first Super Bowl, they was already doing that shit. So they'd be the NFL champion versus the AFL champion. That's what it was called. And you can look all this up. So the Super Bowl wasn't the first time these motherfuckers was playing a championship between the two leagues. They just didn't come up with a way for everybody to pick up on it when they came up with Super Bowl, which came from the Super Ball, the original bouncy ball. That was a fun little toy. I mean, it was like it made baseball fun because you could just if you threw a baseball back and forth off of a wall, it'd fuck the baseball up eventually. That Super Ball, you could bounce it up and catch pop flies. You could bounce it off the wall and catch it. And it was bigger than a tennis ball or a tennis ball size. That was the Super Ball. I got that in 66 in kindergarten. And that's where, Lamar Hunt says he created the Super Bowl. And that was a fun ass toy, like the original bouncy ball. I mean, this shit wasn't that shit. I mean, this shit, like the shit was it had so much energy in it. If you threw it up and you looked at it and it hit you in your face, it'll give you a big knot. That's how much energy, like, especially if you threw it hard and you just happened to look, if it hit you in the head, it'll put a big knot on your head. But it would really give you a pop-up. It would simulate like a pop-up where you're catching it in the air. For those that weren't, very inclined to catch baseballs. But my point goes into they was playing them games. And then they tell you that, all of a sudden it's a Super Bowl. But it's like almost every year of the AFL existence, I think starting in at least 62. Might have been 59, 60, and 61 as well. They was already doing a Super Bowl. Nobody cared. Nobody cared that the AFL and NFL had a championship. Nobody cared. There wasn't enough interest I'll take that back. There was enough interest, but for people to care about that one game, they had to build it up. And if you think that Joe Namath is the one quarterback that threw the most interceptions or pick sixes, yet he made the Hall of Fame for winning the Super Bowl. That's his only fame to glory. But yet here's the dude that threw the most pick sixes. How does he make the Hall of Fame? Well, the Jets only won, so people would accept the AFL teams. Same with the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Vikings. Look at that play with Otis Taylor. Dude just don't even try to tackle him. Look at Baltimore and the Jets where Jimmy Orr, I think is his name. Bobby Orr is a hockey player. They run a play, and the play is made to go to Orr. Earl Moore, the quarterback, gets the flea flicker back. This doesn't even look at Orr. Orr's in the end zone, hands like this. Instead, Orr Moore throws the interception, doesn't even look at the main person. Like, when you have plays, it's option one, option two. Orr was the first option of that play. Once Morrow got the ball back, he was supposed to look for Orr. That was the play. That was the purpose of the play. Instead, he looks on the other side of the field and throws it to a linebacker. And then they don't play Johnny Unitas in the first half. So that's another thing that shows you. And all those early wins by them was only 2. And another fix is they love the dynasty fix. They let the Packers. But let's even go back to the AAFL, the league that Cleveland was in. To keep that alive, Cleveland and San Francisco, that league, I think Cleveland won it 5 or 6 years in a row before they went to the NFL. So that's a way they keep these alive. Remember, the Lakers, when they was here, won 4 or 5. Celtics won 8 in a row. So do you see that the setup of that? People like dynasties. Dallas won 3 out of 4. Shaq won 3. Michael Jordan won 3 and then 3 more, 33. This seems to be their formula for popularity. They let Hakeem win 2. The last couple years it's been, them. But they let the ABA team. It's like looking at these games and why I didn't comment. I mean, it's like it's beyond the comment. You already should know what sports are. They're entertainment. And as I started off is, no, every play ain't manipulated. There's too many points for every play. But what you notice is the crunch time. The times that it matters. It's like when Atlanta was up, 25-3? And then Atlanta calls every play is to lose yards. When really they get 28-3, they kick the field goal, the game's probably over. But they call plays to you lose yards on every play. The third down play, this motherfucker drops back 11 yards, puts himself out of field goal range. Look at my early thing where John Elway's in the Super Bowl. He had a 2-3 step drop and he could have thrown the ball, but no, he goes all the way back into the end zone. I mean, Cam Newton not going after the fumble after they called his completion incomplete. If you remember the game. So they show you that it's just entertainment. Now, you got to train. It's like you got to be able to take the tackles. I mean, naturally, any sport injuries is going to happen. You fucking can walk and you can sprain your ankle just walking. I refereed a game where a dude was just shooting layups and came down and had a compound fracture. All this dude just did is shot a layup, came down, and had a compound fracture. We were in the basement of the Target Center. They had to come down there and get his ass and take him upstairs. Get him out of there. Because it's the Lifetime is in the basement of the Target Center. I think it's the Lifetime. Like down there, you see the Lynx practice facility and the Timberwolves, and then there's Lifetime. It's all down there. Below the Target Center and kind of in the lower level. So you can get hurt doing anything. But to believe any of these things and get emotionally attached, when you gamble, don't be emotionally attached to none of this. Because it's all just, none of it's real. It's just like going to a movie. You get entertained. That's all you want. And, I can't keep just hollering over and over again, it's fixed, it's fixed, it's fixed. I didn't play this, but I watched the movie where Will Smith played that slave that got beat in the back. I was going to make this a short. But anyway, to tell you what it said, Abraham Lincoln, what did he say? Abraham Lincoln abolished slavery in, I think it's January of 1864, except in Louisiana, Kentucky, Maryland, Tennessee. Slavery was still legal in those 4 states. And then it says 400,000 people escaped. And then it says in Juneteenth time of 1865, 4 million people got freed. I'm looking at this, it's like, you some lying motherfuckers. Juneteenth, it only freed, it told the people, matter of fact, if you do the study of Juneteenth, you know that Buffalo soldiers went in there and told the people in Texas they was free. So Juneteenth was they just made it up. But to put it in that movie, that's how deep they'll go with these lies. Like most of the people got freed in Juneteenth. And it only freed the people in Texas. Everybody else already knew they was free. And matter of fact, a lot of Texans knew they was free too. So, if you're a federal employee, well, I got to take my medicine. just wanted to come and let everybody know I'm, living my best life for sure. If I have time and can work this in, I'll try to come back and give some whatever you can get into me, whatever part of this you can take out of it. So, um, this is the Chocolate Mountain Show. I'm known as Big Pontiac. Definitely until we meet again. Thank you.